think it's safe to say that Redemption CA is off to a banging start. Yesterday's ride in Calistoga was so good. If you missed the video, it's back on the Single Track Samplers channel. It came out last week now. Losing track, just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got the notifications. That was rocky goodness to the 10th power. We have a couple more days of crappy weather, which is okay. We could use a little rest day. We don't want to push ourselves too hard. We want to make this last, but after that, it's looking like sunshine, maybe a little clouds, but hero dirt, rainbows, unicorns, you name it, we're on it. What do you got going there, buddy?
Oh, new paint job.
Just gotta take a couple layers off.
Dude, it just looks like a totally different bike.
That stand is way better for washing your bike than my normal work stand.
Yeah.
It's already looking pretty good.
It's real caked up.
Meanwhile, my bike's sitting here all sad and dirty. And did you read the title of the video? Is that why you're all sad? I will remember you. Off to the UPS store to pick up the new bike. I know very little about the new bike. I know what it is. I don't know what kind of build it is. I don't know what kind of color it is. A lot of surprises for all of us to find out at the same time. Here we go. Look at this. It's an Ibis. Whoa. So I'm very, very excited about this. Ibis is a local company about 2 hours down the road in Santa Cruz, depending on the traffic. And it's awesome. Scott Nichols, the owner, you know, Chuck Ibis himself. I've run into him on the trails. I've seen him at mountain bike festivals. We really have a rapport. He really gets what's going on in the industry and what's happening here. Orbea was great. I have no hard feelings with them, but my guy who basically kind of figured out what was happening on YouTube left the company pretty quickly after we kind of got up and running. So there really just nothing really going. So let's play with Ibis. So it's the next day now, and I'm a little stuffed up. Great. So one little detail that's pretty nice is that they sent the frame in one box and the wheels in another. And you can see the wheel box is almost as big as the frame box. So it keeps things a little smaller and more modular. Okay, this is a bad idea. Let's put it down. All right, they're looking like Ibis 942 carbon wheels, 2.5 on the rear, 2.5 up front with some slight use. All right, let's get this thing out of here. Oh, so nice, so light. Well, there's no fork attached. It's blue, it's orange, it's Ibis. It's the Ripmo. Post up. Ooh, that's a long dropper post, holy crap. Very careful, very careful. Wow. Looks like it's had a couple rides, but it looks very nice. I think this is the best packing job of any bike that's been sent to me. This blue and orange color reminds me of the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. Man, this is pretty easy. Handlebars, brake, and then derailleur hanger. Looks like it'll be good to go. Oh yeah, chain too. So I'm actually kind of glad that the bike has already been ridden and tested, because I'm still not good at like measuring out the chain, and there's always a couple little things on a brand new bike that are like, ooh. There we go. I still got couple things to work on and fix and play with, but I'm stoked to get on this bike. This is basically my #1 bike that I've wanted to ride for a long time now. I've been hearing the hype, and I'm sure it's real. I cannot wait to get on it and smash around. I'm very excited to be working with Ibis. So very much like the relationship with Orbea, this is a bike, it's mine, no strings attached. I can ride other bikes, there's no obligation, but this is going to be my daily driver. This is going to be the bike you see in most of my videos. So Ibis isn't paying me to ride this bike, but it is the start of a good relationship where I hope that we can do more videos together, some of which may be sponsored, and when they are sponsored and they are paying me, I will always call it out and I'll always be transparent. So the first thing I do on any bike is take off the stock grips, and I gotta move on to my Wolf Tooth Fat Paw grips. They're my favorites. Don't strip the bolt, don't strip the bolt. Boop. Ooh, look at this. So with these Ibis carbon bars, you can actually take off these spacers, virtually cutting your bars down, or put them on to make them wider. Right now I'm gonna keep it in the 800mm configuration. This feature is called the More On feature, so you get more out of your bars. Or it's so easy a moron could do it. Breaking out a fresh set of these things. We all know how easy it is to put these on. You just spray a ton of alcohol inside the grip, you spray alcohol on top of the grip. You don't stop, you put it on real quick because it'll dry up just like that. No 4-hour live stream needed. Ah, come on, baby. So we may have a bit of a problem here. This is that aluminum piece that's probably always gonna be a little movement here because these are friction grips, they're not lock-on. You know, closer in, there's no movement, but I like to have my pinkies out to the edge. We'll see. So I've run into another little hiccup here. So I usually use these custom cap bar end plugs because I crash a lot and these things are very resilient. The normal bar end plugs that come with the Wolf Tooth Fat Paw grips just pop out and you lose them immediately after the first crash. So with this little thing here, I'm not able to get full depth. So that's a problem. Won't be able to use this. So now I'm just gonna easily take these off and put the stock grips back on. Let me know in the comments if you have a pair of grips that you really, really like. These touch points are always, it's like the saddle, the grips, anything your body's touching, it's always so sensitive. It's always like you find something you like and you stick with it. So I'm gonna have to try some other stuff now. Okay, I got these boxes now that I need to just get out of the way because the quarters are getting tight. So the bike is set up as stock now, but I've got all these little bits and pieces on the Rayon that I would really like to put on this, and some of them might work, some of them might not. Okay, let's take this thing out and let's bring the Rayon in. It's blowing out here! Fail. So one thing I'm not gonna bring from this bike, well, there's a couple things I'm not gonna bring from this bike to that bike. First is the dropper post. That KS11 Integra has another 1/2 inch or however many millimeters of drop on it, and the more drop, the better. So then the other thing that I'm not gonna bring over yet is the cush core. I don't wanna deal with it. It's such a pain. Everyone I talk to who rides it loves it. I like it, I guess. I'm gonna try without it and see where it gets me. If it gets me broken wheels, if it gets me a ton of flats, I'll put it back in, but not a ringing endorsement for the cush core. I get anxiety having to put this thing on again or take it off. So the first thing I'm gonna get is my Wolf Tooth remote. This dropper lever is so much nicer than those funky old style. This is very ergonomic. So the next thing I'm gonna take off is this little problem solvers mount. It allows you to mount a SRAM shifter to Shimano brakes. And finally, I'm gonna try to get through the muck here and take off this 1UP Components bash guard and chain guide. All the dirt is just dropping down. So the first thing I'm gonna try is putting on this problem solvers lever thing, and I'm just winging it. I actually don't know if this is compatible or not. This looks good, feels good, good enough for me. This is so much better. And now I need to take off the old attachment for the shifter. I left everything on just in case I had to put it back and it wasn't gonna work, but now I know it's gonna work, so I need to take the grip off, I need to take everything off and get this thing off. Getting these grips tight it always worries me, and it's something you just have to get them super tight or else they'll move on you in the worst time. Yeah, see? I got them pretty tight and they're still moving. Feels good. Okay, upon further inspection, there are no mounts for this. They don't have the ICE SCG mounts for the typical bash guard, so there must be a different way to put a bash guard on this bike. So I'm looking at this dropper post lever, and it doesn't look exactly the same as what was on the transfer, so I'm watching this YouTube video from my buddy Ryan, and hopefully I'll get some good ideas of what's going on here. So I think this is going to work, but I'm already kind of second guessing myself because the head of the shifter cable is mounted right here, and then the tail must be attached inside the dropper post, where on the Fox transfer it's reversed. Like the head, you know, like the knob at the end of the shifter cable is inside there, and then the tail is just coming out of here, and you just fix it to the bottom of this. But I should just be able to cut the head off of this and everything should work just fine. All right, this might be completely wrong, but my instinct is to cut this thing off by getting this cable right here. It's still attached. We've got a cable. I'm gonna be very lucky if this works and has the right amount of throw and accomplishes what I'm trying to do. Nah, I think it's gonna work. Okay, this is a very similar setup to the other side, where you take this little thingy out of the thingy. Yeah, this little plastic spacer piece. And you just put this right in. And because the spec is the same, I'm coming from Shimano XTRs and these XTs seem to have the same spec, this all just works. All right, the remote is working good, and this is also one of those high impact type dropper posts, so I gotta watch out when I'm on the trail. Now I just need to trim up this cable and put a ferrule at the end of it. Okay, I've just about had enough, but I want to put my little BKXC stem cap back on now that I have a circular thing to put it on. Oh, I'm gonna break it before I even get it out. Okay. Okay, so I'll try to do a real quick rundown of the parts that I can actually talk and speak to that I know of. Everything else, link in the description. I'm sure this is a pretty standard build that they do. So, it's a Fox Factory 36, and it actually has the new Grip 2 damper. Well, at least new for now. Who knows, probably in the next week or two, Fox will come out with something, because I think this is about a year old now. It's also got a Fox DPX2, performance, float, extra volume, all the various things you tag on to the end of it. XL1 Eagle is the drivetrain, and Shimano XT brakes. Okay, we're pretty deep into this video now, and I'm sure there is a question burning deep in your heart. What happened to the BMC? It's right here. This bike is for XC racing, XC training. It's for spandex. It's for going fast. You're going to see plenty of this bike in the weeks and months to come. I'm going to do a video dedicated to all the bits and pieces. There's a lot of things I want to do with this bike, but it's just on hold for now while I go gallivanting around California with Alexander. Tomorrow, the sun will be shining. We will be riding. That video will be on Alexander's channel, the Single Track Sampler. Get over there. We're going back and forth and back and forth. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the trail.